Welcome to Home Team Advantage. I'm Gary Gimbetti along with Mike Egan. We're back after a 1-week hiatus because,
No, don't say it.
all right,
By the way, your hat is a little crooked.
all right. Well, I can take it off. I
Oh,
think
no,
I'll
leave
do
it
that.
on.
No,
Oh,
no, I don't. I'll
geez.
take it off. Throw it down here so people
Okay.
can see my bald head.
We turn the lights down.
Because somebody was on vacation last week. It must be nice to be able to travel and go wherever you want to go.
You know, when you worked the 50-some years that I worked.
You deserve it. So, but I hope you had fun.
Well, I was on vacation in a colder spot than here.
Yeah, I always talk about going south for the winter, but if it's going to be, well, like at the Waste Management golf tournament this weekend, it was only 50 degrees in Arizona. You know, and that's not why I'd want to go down to Arizona to see 50 degrees, although it's warmer than 20. So,
Well, 40 and rain is not much fun in Vegas, I guarantee you that.
I
And
don't.
speaking of Waste Management, they had the big story about how they allowed the drinking, you know, and it was so cold that they're throwing the cans, they were still frozen.
I think they actually had to rein in their crowds, and usually at that tournament they don't do that. That crowd's usually like one of the wildest ones on the PGA
What
Tour.
is it, the 13th or 14th hole they have?
16th hole
16th hole.
is the par 3 where they're
Yeah.
just screaming and yelling. And you know, and then I heard that one golfer was mad because they were yelling in his backswing. Really? And that wasn't on the 16th hole. That was on another hole. But you know what that tournament is.
Well, welcome to Live Golf.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's going to be.
Yeah. So, yeah, my heart bleeds for those people down in Arizona when it's 50 degrees out. You wouldn't think it would be, because obviously they're close. Well, technically they're closer to the equator than we are, and the sun's getting farther and farther north now as we speak.
Hey, like that, we do sports, we do geography, we do everything.
Weather and all
The
that
weather.
stuff. Although here we've had such a nice winter, and today it's cold out.
Yeah. It's always a nice winter until you get your utility bill.
Yeah, then you die of shock.
Yeah.
So.
How can it be warmer on your utility bill goes up higher? You
Yeah,
figure that one
well,
out for me.
I don't know. I don't like.
Uh-oh, the PUC
Yeah, there's a
just called.
PUC's just dinged you. Yeah, I don't like the rate increases, but I suppose they have to do it. I
Yeah.
mean, I had to wait last night. Speaking of that, I'm not going to mention the place where we went to eat, but I called to place my order for takeout, and they said we've got a 45 to an hour wait.
Holy moly.
I called a little bit before 5 o'clock, went there at about 5:50, and I think I waited in there another 30 minutes.
Holy smokes.
And they, you know, and again,
Short staffs?
no, well, I don't know if they're short-staffed or not. They were working. I mean, I know what it's like to kind of be under the gun,
Yeah.
you know, so I totally respect the fact that they were getting their food out as quickly as they did, so, but I don't want to say where I was, because and it was
it worth the wait?
Yeah, it was worth the wait, although I didn't get to eat because I had a game at 6 o'clock,
No.
and I was there till almost 6:30, so I missed most of the first half of the game. So,
Well, that was a good segue into sports. Let's
yes,
talk
there we
sports.
go. And that game was, well, Minnesota North, Hibbing was playing Minnesota North Rainy River, and the Voyagers are ranked 4th in the nation.
Wow.
So they won like 117 to 89. So, but again, Kenzie and I talk, and I guess it's not a lack of effort for the Cardinals. It's just they don't have enough
Yeah.
personnel, because they have guys who can shoot. There's no question about that. But you know, Rainy River, it's the first time I've seen them this year, and they were averaging over 100 points a game. And when you're 4th in the nation,
Do you know, is their team made up of local talent, or is that
no,
talent
it's all
from
from
all over the country?
like Florida.
Yeah.
I think. So it's all talent for Florida. And now we just got a message from the HCC. So it was very enjoyable. I mean, hey, the Cardinals played hard. They have guys who can shoot, but Rainy River was just a notch
Dominant.
above them. So that mathematically eliminated Hibbing from the playoffs, that loss.
Okay.
So Mackenzie's got to what, he'll play out the rest of the schedule, I think, which is 4 games. And then I think he's assistant baseball coach. So he'll go on with Bobby DiNucci to coach baseball, assistant coach baseball, I believe.
I
Which-
assume they do a spring.
They are last weekend they went down to Missouri actually,
Nice.
went to St. Louis and played. And I believe they got beaten every game, but in their first game he said they hit like crazy. And it was like a 20-15 game in the first game. So, obviously then they got 10 run, I think, in the second, and I think that happened in their other game down there too. But he's going to have, I said maybe this year we'll finally get to see you play at home, because I don't think I've seen a home game for the college baseball team in 4 or 5 years. Because now they have do I have to say it? They have all these artificial turf fields around the range except in one place, which will remain nameless.
For baseball.
Yeah, for baseball. So,
Baseball should be played on natural turf.
well,
anyways.
I don't disagree with that either, but up here should be mandatory
Yeah, well,
to have a field like that, but whatever happens, happens. I hope we wake up and get into the 21st century. And what else was I going to say? Now I lost my train of thought.
I don't know
but
about you guys. Everybody mad at us now.
that's all right. I've told you a million times
Yes,
what
you
I
have.
think we should do up here, but we don't. We got to start building facilities, or people might transfer. I'm sorry, that's the reality of it. That's the impression I get when I talk to people at the high school. Is people can start transferring, because look at Nashwauk's building a new school.
Yep, Chisholm.
Chisholm's building a new school. I can't see losing students for that reason,
Oh,
but
could be surprised.
well, I know that's why. The mention was the talk I heard yesterday was like keeping the high school as like a junior high or elementary building and building a new one somewhere else. But this is exactly what you want to hear, being on the school board. But that's neither here nor there, and that'll never happen, I'm sure. So it's,
Oh, I don't, unless you, yeah.
well, I'm just saying, but whether it's that or we build athletic facilities here that are up, into the 21st century, I think that definitely needs to be done. But
To me, Gary, and we'll start talking sports in a minute, but what makes a school is the educators that are in the school. And this school district has some of the, if not the best teachers in northeastern Minnesota. And to blame the building because it's a 100-year-old building is not the case. We just need to push what we have up here. I'm on my soapbox for the school board, but I've seen what the teachers and what the effort they put out to make us a better community and a better program for the kids. It's just the way the world is today. It's just crazy. I mean, because you got a new building, you think you're going to get a better education. It's not going to happen.
no, I get that, and I'm not for getting rid of the high school or anything
No,
like that either.
no, I know.
And the
I know you're
teachers
not,
there
but-
are first class, and I wouldn't mind. Yeah, my education came from there, and I'm not the brightest bulb in the drawer.
But on the other hand, too, you're right in the fact that some of the facilities we have are antiquated and need to be improved. We did the football field. Do we need a baseball field that's turf? Boy, it'd be great. So what are the priorities? What and where are you going to get the money to do it? That's the
Well, that's the thing,
situation,
and you're not gonna, unless you have some financial institution that has money flowing out of its pockets, you're not gonna find that funding. But like I say, Rock Ridge found enough sponsors for all their buildings. I don't know how much they obviously paid for that, but
Well, they've got medical facilities, clinics that are sponsoring some of the stuff over there. So, that's another avenue you can take a look at. But, unfortunately, the way the world is today, it's money first and, worry about your problems later.
well, I know, but it's like there's Franzen Bank and Trust that sponsors the baseball fields. Then there's U.S. Steel sponsors the gymnasium over there. I know the swimming pool has sponsor. Football field, I'm not sure. I'm sure it does,
I
but,
thought it was like a orthopedic,
well,
somebody over there.
but that's what we need, is we have a medical community here that's pretty
Good.
good.
It is
And
good.
it is good, and we have,
What, you got Fairview, Essentia, you got St. Luke's, you got
well, you got 3 of them.
3 of them.
And obviously the hospital, whatever.
Right.
They're affiliated with Minnesota, or is that?
University of Minnesota, I think.
Yeah, so maybe we need another health partner to come in here and do that. But
Then we
hey,
get, what's his name? What's the football coach's name down the Gophers?
BJ,
PJ to come up and give everybody a rah-rah speech.
that's what we need. We need to row the boat.
Roll the boat gently down the stream.
The stream that runs right by the city of Hibbing there,
Yeah.
the new
On our
garage
one
out
lake
there.
we have,
Yeah,
which we're getting a campground, which is nice.
well, that's good.
Yeah.
All right. So
Anyways, high school sports, let's go.
boys hockey took it on the chin the other day. Lost to Rock Ridge 7-1.
They're, physically. took
Well,
on
I
the
took it
chin.
on the chin physically too, and I don't think they were ready for that physicality that Rock Ridge brought in. And I'll tell you, and I can see it happening because it's a rivalry game, and Rock Ridge, I suppose, is a little more polished than we are at this point.
A little older.
But I had somebody tell me, and I'm not going to say who it was, and I told you guys this before the show started, that he thought if you looked at the score, you wouldn't believe it, but he thought Hibbing was the better team. But Rock Ridge came out and punched us in the mouth, and they deserve to win. So congratulations to them. And now Hibbing starts playoffs on Tuesday. They got the number 3 seed, and they will take on Greenway at 6:00 on Tuesday at the arena.
So I assume, I haven't seen the standings, but I assume Hermantown, Rock Ridge.
No, Rock Ridge is AA.
Oh, okay.
So it was Hermantown, Cloquet,
Okay,
Hibbing, and I think Proctor is the 4th seed.
okay.
And then Greenway must be the 6th seed, and I don't know who the other. I'm sure they'll have playing games for those other ones. So that's how it's going to sit right now. And then I think obviously the semifinals and the finals will be in Duluth. So
Whatever happened to when they used to alternate back and forth between here and Duluth?
I don't know. Well, yeah, that went out the window
Is that because
years ago.
Duluth built a
Well,
brand new, what is it?
Amsoil,
Amsoil
well,
arena?
possibly. But obviously, all that's controlled by the Section 7 committee.
Correct.
So,
But we do have basketball here.
yes, we have the boys 7A tournament this year. So we have that for quarters, semis, and finals. And who knows? I don't know if they'll play any, first or second round games here. Maybe for a neutral court, maybe we'll get something for that. Girls, I would assume 7A girls is probably down in Duluth this year. And a Mountain Iron will dominate that one. And Cherry will dominate the boys.
Yeah.
So, if you want to, if you get a, I know we're not talking about Hibbing sports right now, but if you get a Hibbing or a Cherry Mountain Iron
Matchup?
final, that place might be
It'll be full.
packed.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen. I mean, so the atmosphere and it'll be fantastic.
I was over at Cherry a week and a half ago, watching play Chisholm, and talk about bringing back memories of what a full high school gym is like, and the rah-rah and excitement. Go to a Cherry game because
Wow.
they bring it, and that
Yeah.
place is packed, and it's a smaller gym, and it's just fun to watch a team that's as well oiled as
Well,
they are.
they are. I mean, that's no question. They wouldn't be number 1 in the state if they weren't.
Right.
So, but that's it. Girls hockey got beat by Cloquet Esco Carlton 4-2 to end in the quarters of their section. So they finished their season. And at least for me, I'm happy they got the 2 goals. At least they but they fell behind, or no, they scored first and then fell behind 3-1, I think. So their defense probably got a little leaky, and then Cloquet got that, and it's just hard for them to score sometimes. So they're done, unfortunately. Boys basketball lost a couple games over the weekend to Andover and Rockford, which are actually the schedule's fine because Andover, they'd only played one other time, and Rockford, they hadn't played at all. So at least they get some new blood on their schedule, so that's a good thing. But now they play Moose Lake Willow. Well, they lost to Duluth Marshall on Monday as well. So they play Moose Lake Willow River tonight on Thursday night at the Lincoln. So if you're looking for something to do, there you go. Girls basketball, they're going down to southern Minnesota. They're playing New Ulm on Friday and then Hutchinson on Saturday. So they're logging the miles this weekend.
Well, they must be getting pretty close to tournament time too for them, correct?
Yeah, they have about 4 games left tonight. So not next week, but the week after, they'll probably start their matchup. But if they win a few games, they could maybe get a home playoff game. But they did beat the other night. I got to mention this. They beat Hermantown 63-55 or something like that. I'm not positive of the score. They were down by 12 and 11 points in the second half. First they were down by 11 and they came back, and then they were down by 12 and then they came back and actually took a lead with like under 3 minutes to go, but they couldn't hold it, and Hermantown came back and tied it, and then Hermantown made a shot right at the buzzer at 50-50, but it was ruled that she didn't let the ball go before the buzzer went off. So they went into overtime. Hibbing fell behind right away by a point or two, and then went on, I don't know, maybe a 10-2 run, and ended up beating Hermantown. So good for the girls.
Yeah.
That's a nice win. So they got to hopefully they can keep it going. Skiing had their state meet on Tuesday by Wabick and Giants Ridge. Sylvie Wetzel and Hannah Hilda Nucky finished in the top 70. I can't remember. One was 53rd and one might have been 60-something. So they placed. Logan Maxwell advanced, but I think he had a little bit of trouble on his second run and didn't get a placing because I think he missed a gate or something.
Okay.
So, but congratulations to those 3 for doing that. I know Sylvie's coming back next year. I think the other 2 are seniors, but don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. But if they're not and they come back, you got the makings of a team again.
Be interesting to find out if it's more difficult to ski on artificial snow versus natural snow.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure there was a lot of artificial snow out there because they had to close Giants Ridge down so they could have these meets because the Nordic meets going on out there, I think was started yesterday and went into today. So they had to close down to the public so they could keep their courses, fresh for the high school skiers. Swimmers, actually they won their O'Brien quad the other night against Rock Ridge and Mesabi East. And now they're getting set. Their section meet, prelims will be next Thursday in Hibbing. So they don't have to travel anywhere. And then the finals will be that Saturday. Wrestling goes into their section team this weekend. I think it's in Mora. But when I talked to Ellis Wojciechowski yesterday, he wasn't sure. They hadn't done their seed meeting yet, so I'm not sure who they're going to wrestle. But they'll either, if they win, they'll probably go against the 1 or 2 seeds, and I think it's a one-day thing now.
Oh.
So that'll be interesting to see how they do. And then their individual tournament is next Saturday in Grand Rapids. So at least they don't have to go far for that one.
Well, Mara, that's kind of the high school wrestling capital of the world, isn't it?
Well, yeah, they're
very successful every year.
Yes, and there's a lot of good wrestlers and a lot of good teams. It was fun watching them wrestle against. They had their only home meet of the season a week ago, where they wrestled Deer River and Nashwauk, Keewatin, and it was kind of fun actually watching them. And then the 2 guys I wanted to watch wrestle, Cooper Hendrickson and Ian Larrabee, didn't wrestle.
Oh.
Cooper, I guess, was ill, so he couldn't wrestle, and Ian at heavyweight didn't have a wrestler, so he won both by forfeit. So I wanted to see them wrestle, but all the other guys against Deer River, they wrestled great. I think I think 3 of the matches they flipped, helped them beat Deer River. So good luck to them coming up with their section meet.
What else? That's it?
I think that's it.
Now we get to turn to our favorite part of the program, professional sports.
Yeah, where we know the most.
Yes.
And we can rip people.
Yeah.
But really, there's really nothing to rip right now. I mean, that's the...
Well, the Twins, they haven't done a thing.
No, their pitchers and catchers reported yesterday,
Yeah.
and then the rest of the team reports on Sunday.
Yep.
And, you know, they did trade, Gordon? Is it Alex?
Yep. Alex Gordon, the guy with the colored hair.
Yep.
Yep.
And they traded him to Seattle for a relief pitcher.
Well, then maybe they can get Polanco back.
And they obviously traded Polanco for four guys that I know nothing about
Yep.
because I don't study it. So we'll see if which brings me to the point where the Yankees can trade for somebody and not give anybody up.
Right.
And we trade a guy not as good. I'll grant that. Well, obviously he's not as good as Juan Soto, but
Yeah,
we
what he brought to this team.
yeah, well,
I don't understand. We're not in the big league, so making those decisions, we can sit here and, Monday morning quarterback, but they haven't done anything as far as their pitching, which was kind of their weakness last year. They can hit, but they can't pitch.
yeah.
So,
And last year they hit the fourth or most home runs, I think, in the league, or at least in the American League. I'm not sure. Could have been even more. And that was without Buxton playing a full season and without some of those other guys playing a full season. So, and Jose Miranda didn't hardly play it at all. He got sent back down, but supposedly he's got his swing back. So if he comes back in any kind of shape, that's going to help.
you see the picture of the big whoop?
No.
Big whiff?
Oh, yeah, no, I
Lost
don't.
like 80 pounds.
Well, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
But, obviously they're going to have Lopez and Joe Ryan as their number one and number two pitchers, I'm sure. And then after that, you're going to have Ober and Varland and whoever else. It's just, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, hopefully they're better.
Wild, they're fifth in a row last night, so
Yeah,
now everybody will be back on the bandwagon.
But they have to jump like 5 teams to get even a sniff at that last playoff spot. Now I haven't looked at the standings, so I don't know how close they got now. But
I think points-wise, they're pretty close. Our executive producer over there is checking on it for us right now.
all right, so yeah, but no good. Hey, they come out of the All-Star break like gangs on fire, and it's like good. I mean, but now you have that thing where now do we really want to make the playoffs? Or do we want to be in that group of teams that can get a chance at a number one pick because they have a lottery now?
Yeah.
And again, no one's going to tank. I'm not asking for that
Yeah.
because that's not a professional athlete's mindset. They're
They
going
don't
to go
have
out.
to tank, they're that bad.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, and technically they're not that bad, but they're not good enough to
Well,
go on a run.
Pretty sad when the All-Star game, or the All-Star hockey game, whatever they call it now, is the highlight is Justin Timberlake got to skate with the teams.
Oh, well.
They're all getting their picture with Justin
Yeah, I
Timberlake.
know. They got to add some spice to it, so
Yeah,
they bring in the
football's got
stars.
Kelsey and, what the hell's her name?
I can't even remember what her name is. Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift, or
Boy,
the
that's-
Swifties.
Brain
You know that
cramp.
Vegas had odds on how many times they were going to show her on TV. Wow.
Good. How'd it go?
Or if they were going to have, and then the other one was if they were going to kiss each other at the end of the game.
Well, that was a
Way to
given.
go, NFL.
Yeah, I think that was a given. That probably happened. I don't doubt that.
That's our segue into the NFL
Yeah.
playoff game, or Super Bowl.
Well, the Super Bowl. I didn't watch a minute of it. I know I got a sports talk show, and allegedly a sports talk show, and then I'm a sports writer. But it didn't matter to me if Kansas City or San Francisco won. I didn't care.
What surprised me, it was the game was pretty good. It was only 3-0 at half, but it was still entertaining. But how can a professional team come out after you lose and say, well, we didn't know what the rules were when it
Oh.
came to overtime. We didn't know they changed them.
No.
I mean,
Yeah, I don't
who's
know
running the
why.
organization here?
Yeah, but of course, you know why all that changed.
Because of,
The Vikings in New Orleans,
Yeah.
when they came down and kicked the field goal and
Yeah.
went to the Super Bowl that year.
yeah,
And yeah, it always happens after something bad happens to the Vikings. So,
well, the rumor is out in Vegas, Cousins will be gone. They don't want to pay him the $45 million for 2 years, or $45 million a year for 2 years.
yeah.
I can't remember the kid. I think Darnold.
Oh, Sam Darnold. Now I know who you're
is the
talking
backup
about.
quarterback for the 49ers.
Yeah,
And the talk is they're going to try to get him so they can keep. Can you think they can afford to keep Cousins and Jefferson?
well, I don't know. I mean, Rob Brzezinski, who does all their finances, has to figure out a way to do that. And I'm sure he's worked his magic before with players, so we'll see.
But they still got to sign some players. They got to go out and get some free agents. I mean, so do you loosen up that $45-46 million dollars?
And I don't know about Sam Darnold. Hey, if they're going to go after somebody, go after Baker Mayfield. I mean, that would
Well,
be.
that's true. He proved he can beat them.
Well, yeah. I mean, didn't have a bad year for Tampa Bay. So, I mean, if he's not going to stick with Tampa Bay,
Yeah.
Russell Wilson, I don't know.
But then
if
again, Russell Wilson, they can get him for a couple million. If you go after what's his name from Tampa, you're still paying $20-30 million
Yeah.
a year. And do you want that headache?
That's the thing. I mean, I know.
He reminds me of that kid that used to play for Texas Tech that was going to be such a star. He ended up going up to Canada and playing. What the hell is that? I can't think of his name now.
And well, I don't know necessarily who you're talking about, but I believe what you say. So, but the Timberwolves now they're on a roll. They're like 21 or 22 games over 500,
Yep.
number one team in the West. Finch and the crew are going to coach the All-Star game Sunday,
Nice.
so good for them.
That'll be 140 to 140.
Yeah, there won't be any
something like that.
defense. He doesn't have to worry about his team playing defense.
Right.
So,
And you see where we gotta go. Who was trying to get LeBron? Oh, the San Francisco
no.
was pushing to get traded, but never happened. So
Well, I heard one trade rumor, again quote marks, was trading Naz Reid and Jaden McDaniels to Los Angeles for LeBron. That
Oh,
was just a
really?
rumor.
oh,
So I mean, but they did pick up a guy in the trade deadline, so they got rid of Shake Milton and Troy Brown.
okay.
But hey, we're done to the end of another show. For Mike Egan and I'm Gary Gimbetti. We'll see you again next week on Home Team Advantage.
For over 25 years, U.S. Bank, located at 211 East Howard Street in Hibbing, Minnesota, has provided office and studio space for Hibbing Public Access Television. We are thankful for their ongoing support.